I realised that was my thumbnail. That's not the window that I want. Damn it. Oh, I thought I had one. Excuse me. Excuse me. Okay, I need a... I might have to do it this way. Can I... If I do that, then my camera will rotate too. It's going to be fun trying to read like that. Be really good. Oh, there we go. That's the way. That'll do it. That'll give us what we need. Let me just check I can hear everything. Really good. Yep. Oh, there we go. That's the way. So mic's a little bit dodgy. Everything's a bit dodgy, but I'm set up to go. I'm gonna do a bit of AMS2, I think. A little bit of AMS2. And we'll see if we get some people pop in. I guess I don't really need that dock, because that's not going to do shit for me now. There we go. That's all we need. And if something pops up into the chat, there'll be a little bit of a delay there, but that's all right. It usually is, and I'm not expecting too much anyway. I think I am live. Yeah, I definitely am live. Okay, let's have a look. I don't think that's going to matter, the fuel load. I don't know if I'll change much, to be honest, but what I'll do is so I probably want that a bit lower. I might just lower that one. Huh. You know, I've never changed any of that. I don't even know what it would feel like, you know, so I'm just going to leave all that. I'm not going to want it that high. I'll start off at 2. I'll leave the rear downforce. I think we'll try out that to start off with. So I'm just going to run some laps for now. Oh. Okay, we'll start that again. Good start. Yeah, it's just got really sensitive traction control from what I've noticed. It's a bit loud. Let's try and warm everything up a bit. Got a lurker there. At least someone had jumped in for a little while there. Feel free to say hello. Ask me anything. I'll start sharing my thoughts in a minute. I suppose that was the point of the video. I need to be able to hear myself talk and think, so 1 year. 1 year with the Simagic Alpha, the 15 Newton meter V3 model. So that's the passive cooled Simagic Alpha. And it's been good. It's been, I'm a bit of a FOMO guy. You know, I kind of wanted to make sure that this was going to be a good purchase before I went ahead. So I really did dig around and look into, you know, what I needed out of a lifetime wheelbase, and you know what sort of features, how much strength, and when I bought it about a year ago. I didn't know about. Well, I knew about the Evo line. I didn't know about the Evo Pro, and but I don't know if I would have been that apprehensive anyway. And since the Evo line's been out, I've been sort of tossing and turning over whether or not I needed to upgrade this thing, and I just don't think it's worth it. So I've stuck with it, and I've kept asking people, you know, like, you know, if there is something on the table, what is it? Because, you know, if it's something that's important to me, I'll make the leap, you know. Well, but yeah, I didn't really. The feedback that I was getting is that it wouldn't really be worth it. So, on reflection, you know, like, I've been really happy with this wheelbase, and it doesn't really have me missing anything. Like, I'm not sort of thinking, oh man, I wish that I did this or that. There are features in the later generation wheelbases, like USB pass-through, that are starting to come through. But I don't have those kind of wheels, and I don't know if I'll ever buy them. I've got my own little Bluetooth hub that I did a video about, and I got that from AliExpress, and I've been able to figure out how to wire that up so that it powers off of the it powers and charges off of the 5 volts on the Simagic Alpha, so it's kind of like, it behaves very much like a native wheel, and the Bluetooth connects to the PC, and the data's quick, you know, there's no delay or anything. It's no different to using the Bluetooth on my GT Neo except for instance, jeez, better pay attention to what I'm doing. Instead of talking to the Alpha base, it's talking to my PC just behind here, and I've got good Bluetooth. So I would say having good Bluetooth on your PC is really important though for that. But because I got that wheel, and it's a round wheel, it's 310 round I got. And then I got this 300 mil, you know, butterfly wheel. And then I got myself a 320 mil round wheel without a butt box, just so I can just chuck on if I want to do drifting or something like that. So it's like I've got all the boxes ticked, you know. Everything that uses power gets it from this base, and I don't need USB pass-through to connect any data up. I was thinking about getting MagLink though, just so I can try out some SimHub features on the GT Neo. But like, again, like, I don't feel like I am aware you can change the colours up a bit more, you can add a few more little features and flag lights, just little things, you know, you can do. You can probably make it so that each encoder blinks for every wheel that slips, you know, for all I know. But I'm not using the GT Neo in a way that's like, man, I'm lacking this feature, you know. Like, there is one thing, and that's the ability to turn like multi-position switches on. And on SimHub you can do it with all 4, whereas on this you can only do it with the top 2. And to do it, you press in this funky switch and then turn the encoder to the right that you want to enable, and that'll enable multi-position switch mode, which doesn't even work in the Sims that I'm playing at the moment. Like, only rotary encoder mode works. So it's like, yeah, I don't need those features. So, you know, I've been pretty happy with what I've got, I guess, is what I'm saying. And I think if you buy, you know, you buy into the right ecosystem, that will probably be the case for you. Like, even just recently I was looking at wheels with screens. And it doesn't like, because, okay, FX Pro Simagic wheels actually really a good price for what you get. And okay, it doesn't have SimHub compatibility, but I feel like the native compatibility with your, if you've got a Simagic base, is kind of, it's almost like that's better. Like, now don't get me wrong, like it would be better if it had both. But like, if I was gonna get, let's say like the Leox XGT or XF1, I think I was looking at both of those. I don't know, you know, like, yeah, at least I can use SimHub dashes, but I use SimHub for so much stuff. Like, I got this here, this old phone here. Obviously, I'm using it for that, but I'm also using it for my Vam Pro Haptics on my pedals, and all my bass shakers around my rig. And I mean, I don't know if there's a limit on how much SimHub can do at once. And you know, I've got the unlocked version of it, but yeah, like just running the FX Pro through SimPro, like Simagic software, I don't think that would bother me. I don't feel like I'd be feeling very restricted in that. So, you know, yeah, it's just one of those things where, you know, if you really look at these features like USB pass-through and the reason you would want them, it's cool. It's like, don't get me wrong, it is cool, you know, and to some people those things are really important. But it's not enough to make me go and make the jump. So for me, what I wanted to, you know, look at was, okay, how good is the actual force feedback? Because that being able to use SimHub without MagLink was definitely something that I was a little keen on. But I don't care that much, like, to be able to make like a full upgrade. And so it's like, okay, how big a difference is the force feedback? And you know, I gotta, if it ain't broke, don't fix it kind of, you know, a lot of lessons like that in life already. And I like what I'm using. And, you know, so it's like, how good is it? You know, like, what am I missing out on? You know? And I'm getting conflicting information because I'm reading, you know, through Reddit posts of people saying, oh, it's so much better and huge difference, blah, blah, blah. And then I go and ask, like, YouTubers, like, you know, who really have tested all the hardware. And they're like, it's just not that big a difference. It's not worth worrying about. Just enjoy what you've got. So, you know, putting those two together, it's kind of like, where do I actually, like, what's the answer, you know? I tend to believe that, you know, most direct drives are more or less the same as long as they're close enough anyway, like with exceptions to like the real early ones like the M10 and maybe the early, like when the DD1 first came out, but even the DD1 I've heard feels really good now, so I don't know. Dang, good. I won't be getting that back. That's a dud lap. But yeah, so then there were a couple other little things that I was like, alright, I do like that power button on the back of the wheelbase because I hated how far, like, because my power supply is actually not next to my rig. It's like, I probably could have made it like that, but it isn't. So I'd have to kind of switch on the bass before I sat down, and if I forgot to do that, hated that. I'd have to get up out the rig and go turn on the wheelbase. And I didn't really want to like try and mount my power supply somewhere on my wheelbase just so I can have this switch near me. So anyway, I added a cord line switch to the actual power supply cord itself, right next to the wheelbase. It's only like an inch from the wheelbase. So basically I've got a power switch at the wheelbase now. So I can turn it on and off there. And then, yeah, like I said, I've been able to figure out how to power my own wheel off of the off of it, and it connects with Bluetooth, so I kind of tick that box. And like, I've got so much haptics on this rig that all the other little things, I don't know. Yeah, so in the end, nah, sticking with it. And then it sort of got me to thinking over the last day, you know, well, what are my thoughts with this thing, you know, like, because it has been, like, I'm on this thing every day. I mean, there has been a day or two in the last year that I haven't used the rig, but I'm pretty much on it every day. And, well, even though I might not be that skillful to show you that, but I am pretty much on it every day. And, oh man, those Vam Pros are going nuts. And yeah, it's been good, you know. Like, now I have, you know, it wasn't exactly like an overnight thing dialing in the settings though. But you know, I'll just quickly show you my settings just for this game. I'm running pretty high inertia at the moment because I watched Race Beyond Matter sort of suggest high inertia, and I started out at like 90 and ended up coming down to about there before I felt like, yep, that's about right. And these are the settings that I'm running at the moment, with 60% gain in AMS2. But I don't run every car at 100%, so I probably wouldn't even need to run 60% gain. So even though I have this all maxed out, like this is all maxed out at 15 Newton meter, that's just so that I've got headroom. You probably understand that if you're watching this video. But just to show you, I use about 60%. And if I were to, I think with this car, it's like 85, 75. Okay, so there you go. Not even 85 at the moment. And you could see like there were a lot of forces coming through that wheel, and heaps of headroom, like no clipping whatsoever. But I have ran into clipping on this, you know, numerous times. Usually like big crashes and stuff, you know. Or if I haven't adjusted, like in a sim like AMS2 now, where I haven't adjusted this, and I jump in a oval, what is that, F1 looking oval car, really fast thing that does for oval racing, and just jumped in with 100%. Well, then I was able to get clipping, you know, on Daytona at going high speeds, drop it down to 80%, and it's like all the forces, it's like it brings out even more detail, you know. So yeah, you would really want to make sure you use that dynamic range. But yeah, you probably know that. But yeah, no, like when they brought out this new generation of bases, and they were like, oh, zero cogging and that, and they started comparing to this, because that's kind of what the marketing wanted, I suppose. You got to bear in mind, like a lot of people say, like there's not much point in testing a base that's not energized. And I can tell you now, when these are energized, they're heat smooth, like really smooth. It's actually probably one of the things that they're good at, really good at, is you can get them very smooth, to the point that, in fact, you know, people have complained you can dial out too much detail going that way. But you don't need to dial out the detail to get it smooth. Like I don't feel any cogging whatsoever. I actually never feel cogging on this at all. There is torque ripple, but you have to like take a wheel off and turn the shaft on its own to even feel it. And then if you hold it between poles, you can feel it, you know. Oh, and that's when I was finally like, oh, that's what torque ripple is. Okay, you know. But like, I could feel a bit of cogging on the CSL-D that I had, but it wasn't enough to bother me. But it was enough that like the wheel wouldn't want to sit at 12 o'clock. And even this, sometimes you'll know, like you can get it to sit at 12 o'clock, but you'll notice it would rather sit at, you know, not 11 o'clock, but like 11:50, and or something like that, 12:10, and you could bring it, you know, like I said, you can bring it and it'll sit where you want it, sort of thing, because I think the base is, you know, it's using filtering and varying the power between those two poles to hold it in the middle, you know what I mean? But if you try and sort of yank it from side to side, from that point, that's when you'll sort of start feeling a bit of that torque ripple feeling. And you can't feel it with the steering wheel. Like, you just can't. Like, I can't anyway. The lightest steering wheel I've got is probably, it's actually been my drift wheel with nothing on it. But even this GT Neo is only 1100 and it's 300 wide. And yeah, you don't feel torque ripple. What you can feel if you don't set your settings up right is a robotic feeling. Because if you go too far in the way of smoothness, you will dial out like some detail, like others have said, and I've just confirmed. And if you just go for all-out detail on the other end of the scale, you'll end up with like this robotic digital feeling. And you can actually get it on the CSL DD. I'll tell you how if you want to know how it feels. If you go into your CSL DD and turn down interpolation filtering to 0 on Assetto Corsa, keep all your force feedback details high and force feedback intensity high, but turn your interpolation filter to 0 and notice how robotic it gets. Like, it's really digital feeling. So that's the feeling that Will's talking about when he talks about this robotic feeling, which is very minimal on this. Like, it's not as strong as that, but it's there if you don't dial it out. And when you do dial it out, you end up with this, like, you know, pretty rich rubber mallet force feedback that, in my opinion, isn't really lacking anything, you know. But if you were to compare it to a Simagic 2, then you'd probably notice the difference, you know. And that's where, you know, these newer bases, you know, they've been reviewed and it feels as good as the Simagic 2. So that's when you start, like, you know, well, if you're a force feedback purist like I am, start asking a question as to, like, what am I missing out on? And yeah, I was a little bit disappointed, to be honest, when they dropped the Evo line. Not just because I'd only just bought this, that was a bit of a factor, but it was also because the base had too many features that kind of I don't like. Like, I don't like that extra plastic on both sides of it. I don't actually like the clutter at the back of the base, because the way that I've got my base mounted and my rig set up, I've got my center speaker behind my wheelbase. And I kind of like that the cords come out to the side on this, but it just works for my setup because that's what I've built my setup around. You know what I mean? I like that this is active, passively cooled. That's really, I think, important in my opinion. Like, and I've had people say to me, "Well, what about GPUs? What about CPUs?" And they make a great point, but what about RAM? What about SSDs? Like, the point is anytime you can get away with not whacking a fan on something, you should. And I feel like whacking fans on things just in case, so that they can cool down every now and then, is a good idea. But you know, I'm not really sure that's how the Evo works. You know, but a lot of people have said that they've never even noticed the fan kicking in. So I'm thinking that is actually what they've done. Is they basically kind of given it the fan. Told it, like, don't ever turn on unless you really bloody have to, because some people actually put fans on their, like, Alpha Minis and stuff, or have, like, contemplated doing it because they did get hot. Not hot enough to, like, drop force feedback, but hot enough that they want to cool it. And so I feel like, you know, when Simagic started asking people, "Oh, what do you want us to do with this next base?" You know, people were thinking, well, USB pass-through, this, that, and somewhere along the line, people must have asked for a fan, because why else would they whack it on there? I doubt that people are like, you know what I really want? I want to get rid of that carbon fiber and add some plastic, man. Like, so you know, obviously that didn't happen, you know what I mean? But yeah, I don't think it's a bad looking base, and I'm sure it's super high quality, because everything that Simagic makes is high quality, I've found. Even the GT Neo, which is their cheap wheel, you know, very nicely like build, like really solid, no creaking in it whatsoever. And I was thinking in my mind today, like, what are the things that I improved when I got this wheel? Because, you know, this wheel, not a lot of people talk this wheel up like it's a premium bit of kit, because it is the Simagic's cheap wheel. But to me, this is a premium bit of kit. Now, I put new aluminium in. I've got some damage on my rear right suspension. It's making my car behave funny. But I put new aluminium, anodized aluminium knobs on the funky switches just today, actually. So other than that, this wheel's stock, right? Like, this is how it comes. Is, you know, just comes with black funky switch knobs instead, like plastic ones, which are pretty shit, to be honest, but they get the job done. And you know, but I was thinking about, okay, so what does this have that the F1 eSport wheel didn't have on my Fanatec? And it's like, it was heaps. Like, I like the grips way better. See, now I've had this wheel for over a year and my grips are still like brand new. But yeah, they're way more comfortable, you know, and I don't drive with gloves and I can still drive for ages on this thing. So, way better grips, in my opinion, way less creakier, solider wheel, better diameter. I think the 300 is better than 280. Thumb encoders, rotary knobs, a better quick release, a better lighting, you know, better buttons, and the buttons light up, but better buttons, more buttons, clutch paddles, and magnetic shifters. Like, I don't even know if that's everything, but that's a pretty decent bloody list of things to improve on over something that was ultimately a pretty fucking good wheel. Because, you know, I liked what switch anodized, like, encoder knobs. I was thinking, when I put them on, I was like, now that's the one thing that wasn't as good as the eSport wheel that is finally as good or even better, is I liked the funky switch on that. I like the little metal, like the metal funky switch knob with that little rubber like embedded into it. I think they made a beautiful funky switch on the eSport wheel. So, you know, but that's Fanatec. Like, they do make nice shit. And so now my funky switches are better than that. They're not shitter. They're better. You know, and everything else on the wheel was better. And it's just such a good wheel, you know. And it's like, man, like, to think that this is someone's budget, like a company's go at doing something on the cheap, but it really does tick every box, man. And like I said earlier in the video, I was looking at wheels with screens, but I don't think I'm going to get one. And one of the reasons is, like, I've had this like set up as a BDU before, like, plenty of times, and I've got it often set up where it is now as a dash. What I find is, like, I can't really look at it much. Like, I have to look at it and really take my eyes off the road to refocus my eyes onto something that's not in the screen. So everything else is in the screen, like, because you know, you are just looking at a 2D image. It's like your eyes don't have to adjust for depth at all, and then suddenly you take your eyes and look at something that's closer to you, like, if that makes sense. I don't know if I'm the only person who experiences that, but I find I like looking at the in-game dash on the car for quick glances of information. I feel like I can do it better. And I feel like a wheel's not going to be any better, like, you know, because then I have to look even further down at my fucking wheel, and I'm not sitting in an F1 position on this seat to make, you know, bring my wheel up and put it in a position where it's not awkward to look down at it. So I don't think I'm going to get a wheel with screen. I'm going to stick with the wheels I got, and I'm going to get triples instead. And so I started looking at triples. I found the monitor I want to get. It's a G55C 32-inch 1440p VA 180Hz display. 32-inch, if I didn't say that already. And you know, obviously I'll try and get 3 of those, because you need 3 triples. But what I noticed, man, is the cost of fucking monitor stands. They are so expensive. Like, I can get the 3 monitors on special at the moment because it's Black Friday for about $750. the monitor stand for 550. You know, and it's like, what? So I started looking at cheap alternatives for like these, you know, aluminium extrusion things, like steel tube ones made by like Dardu or some crap that's sold on eBay, you know, for 168 Australian. It's like, I know you get what you pay for, so I know they're going to be shit. But my experience with shit monitor stands and monitor mounts is that, like, as long as you stay within the weighted range, they do get the job done if they're just a set and forget thing and you're not planning on moving the monitor back and forth, which is what I've got right now. I've got this really good monitor arm because I realised, like, if I'm going to be moving this monitor in front of the rig and then back in front of the desk and then back in front of the rig and possibly doing that multiple times a day, I need to have a really good monitor arm. So I've got a really good monitor arm so that I don't have that issue, right? But yeah, like, if you're just going to set the monitors once, you don't actually need a really flashy monitor arm or monitor stand in my experience. Now, having said that, 3 monitors is different, and I don't, like, I do want to buy once, try once, but I don't want to spend 500 bucks on a monitor stand when I only spent 2/3 of that on the monitors. Like, that's 2 of the monitors. So that's my conundrum at the moment. It's triples. How will I mount them? But I do want to do it. I got quite excited about the whole idea, you know, thinking about having them, and I have always found, like, you know, one of the reasons I got that monitor arm and I've just constantly moved this monitor closer and lower and closer and lower. It's like, I do find FOV quite important. I do like feeling like I'm in the car and I need that to be controllable. I don't want the road so far away that it looks like this tiny object up the road, like I'm steering, you know, from something 100 meters away. Like, I hate that feeling. And even now you can see that, like, what actually, the width of the actual road that I see is about, I don't know, what's that, 4 or 5 inches? So it's like, to really get that feeling of being on a road and being surrounded by a wide road, I feel like I need triples for that. I could be wrong. Like, you know, I don't think I'll be disappointed though. And I'm able to get them at such a good price that if I have to resell them, I don't think it would be that big a deal. As if I need to go to the toilet. Looks like I'm the only one here at the moment, so we're good. BRB, guys. Feeding doggo. Be right back. Oops. be. Alright, climbing into the race car again. Sorry about that. Just set my mic up. There we go. I think it's still working. Let me just double check. Yep. Cool. Okay. I guess I might do a race. So, where was I before? Yeah, so the overall experience over last year has been, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, and I've been very happy with what I've got. So, yeah, and you know, I kind of think that although it may not be this particular brand that you go for, I do think that, you know, around the 15 Newton meter mark is ideal to keep you covered. And you probably don't really need more than that, like, you know, 18, 16, 15. But even 12, like, I really think if you had the Club Sport DD that does 12 Newton meters of holding torque, that would be plenty. And I'm pretty sure that thing overshoots to like 18 Newton meters or something anyway, temporarily, which is basically what this thing can do, 18 Newton meters at the bump stops. So if you were to take this and, you know, this is set to 900 now. So once I get to that full lock and I try and I turn it past that, like, that's when you start to feel that 18 Newton meters. But as far as force feedback goes, the dynamic range is 15, and there may be some minor overshoot. So I think that's when you're seeing people, you know, saying that these 15 Newton meter wheelbases really do 18 Newton meters or something. That's really what you're finding is it's the software lockout. This motor is a 17 or 18 Newton meter motor. There was another company called InSource that used this motor, and they weren't able to get it to feel as good. They weren't as good at tuning motors as there's somebody in Simagic that's really good at tuning motors. As if you'd ever, yeah, there's one. Yeah, if you've ever like watched I've lost my train of thought. It's okay. Just thinking. Okay, so I've got one pit stop here in a 6-lap race. So I think I'll try and set the fuel up for like to keep me covered for like the first 4. All right, let's see what it takes to do 6 laps. I really like that this game actually just tells you what you need. rather than you having to do laps first to, or just guess, you know, or try and remember from last time. So 91 to so it's about 11 litres. Was that right? Yeah, and 91 became 7. About 12 or so litres. So, I'm going to make it enough to do, you know, 2 full good laps, if you know what I mean, maybe with a bit left over. Yeah, and then got to make sure I pick it. Hold on, did I? Are my tyres all? Yeah, cool. Got to make sure. Look, I've had it happen before. I didn't set the right pit strategy and went into the pits and didn't change my tyres, and oh man, spewing. All right, so I need enough to get through a good 4 litres here. So I'm going to go for the full again. Like that way, I should have enough then to do a cool down lap if there is one, or make up for any miscalculations. I don't think the tyre pressure is the same as the pit strategy. 1.56. So do I make that 1.55 or the other one 1.56? 1.7 bar on the back when warm. That's with blankets on. I might go to 5.5 and just leave. But we'll put a little bit less on that. And a little bit more on that. So 151, 151, 155, 154. Make sure that's wrong one. Yeah. Was that, what was it? Hold on. Well, I'm getting confused. I think that's it though. And I don't want to make it too unsymmetrical, but I want to just give it that tendency to go around right corners. Obviously, that's what this track is. So, I think that's it. That's it. Eh? It's too shame this thing doesn't have ABS. Now, the thing about that I find with these cars is their brakes are so bad when you first start. So I'm hoping I just don't completely screw this up in the first few corners. So I might just try and warm up the brakes and ride them a little bit. Okay. Well, see what I mean? Oh, far out. Even that was too fast. And yet they can stop. It's like they don't have the pop. They don't have the cold brake problem. Because I don't see them like riding their brakes or anything to warm them up. No, they might have been though. Maybe I'm tripping. Shit. Close. And they really slow down there. So this is not like 100 AI or anything. I think I've got it set to like 88 or 90. Like, jeez, no. But one thing I found, they don't hold their, like, they're really aggressive. Even on medium aggression, it's like they're really aggressive and hold their line. Don't hold their line. If you start to come, if you're like, front quarter is parallel with their rear quarter, I guess at that point it's race etiquette to back off and let them have it probably. So that's probably why they don't. You know, I'm not very good with racecraft, I'll be honest. I know what blue flags and yellow flags are for, and oh shit, far out. Maybe I do need more TC. It's just all I can feel through my pedal is thump, 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 thump from the TC kicking in the whole time, even on 4, and yet this thing makes a lot of power though. It's got a bit more. What the fuck was that? That was so weird. It's like my force feedback went dead for a second. Oh my gosh. See what I mean? I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm glad they fight for it. Far out. Like, what would happen if I'd have just sort of forced my way in, you know? Oh, for fuck's sake, guys. And they don't let you past, even though they're so bloody slow. Oh no. Completely lost my rear wing. Great. I wonder what that looks like. Oh, well, I know what it feels like. Wow, that completely... Like, it's terrible without it. The race is done now, really, because there's not really any recovery now. Let me just check something, though. Yeah. Fuck.
now. It's so hard to drive now. Maybe the inertia's too high for this car. Like, you know, I don't know if anybody, if you saw, but I was showing I have a really high inertia setting at the moment. And I wonder if it's making it a bit hard to catch slides, you know. I think I need the wheel speed up. Yeah, one of the two. I want to try that. Now it feels a bit too bloody snappy. It's so hard to drive. I'm gonna have to go back to pits. Oh, wrong button. Actually, I'm just gonna restart. I'll start again. It's offline anyway. Try to do better. I do want to turn this down though. Just want to try it. And I might try that. I hate this dead moment of like no force feedback. It's so confusing, man. Like, and then when it finally gives it to you, it's like there. And first and second gear. I think that's better already. But I haven't had to catch slides yet, but it does feel better. Too much inertia for a car like this, I think, that setting. And it won't make any difference anyway. That, like, if you let go in this car, even that inertia setting, this wheel was wobbling. So it's not saving you there anyway. Fucking pointless. I think that's the Alpine. Is that the Alpine? Oh, God. Fucking prick. Need a coffee, man. Eyes are getting sore. Oh, it's still so hot. The flask really works. Let me through. Shit. Probably a bit more speed than I wanted to lose there. Man, like, he's right on my ass now. As though, you know, suddenly stick through the corners. Yeah, so, you know, I'd look at things like Club Sport DD Plus, the Evo range, like Evo or Evo Pro. This, the Simagic Alpha, it's on special at the moment. The DFP, the VRS, is it VRS? VRS DFP looks like a good go. And of course, you've got Moser, just launched a really, really competitively priced 21 Newton meter wheelbase, which sounds like overkill, but if you're spending that much to get some of these 15 Newton meter options anyway, or 18 Newton meter options anyway, and you really like the look of Moser's wheels, because I personally think their wheel with the screen looks really nice, and they've got the truck wheel, they've got the indicator stems, like they've got an active shifter. Like, to be honest with you, Moser have a really good ecosystem. So, you know, I'd consider that as an option too. They supposedly have really raw, like, force feedback, which like some people love, and I don't know what that means though. So, you know, I don't know what that means. Like, it means different things to different people, you know what I mean? See, like, after a lap, this thing's so much better. Like, after all the tyres and brakes have really warmed up. Shit. I haven't checked this camera behind me for a while. I hope that it hasn't been rattled into a completely stupid position. But wait, you can't even see it. What's going on? Oh, you can't see it anyway. So there is no camera behind me now, so don't worry. That's probably better anyway, because I think it would just get rattled. But you can't see the wheel now, so that sucks. I wonder why it's not on. I'll try. I'll when I can, I'll check it out. So I'm faster through that corner than them, but I'm definitely slower through other parts than them. So there's a point where I'm not actually as good as at the AI in some parts of these tracks. Maybe not. I don't know. That was bad. Give you some telemetry there, and me too. Oh, shit. Oh, no. How bad is it? Oh, you're joking. Come on, get around. You know, it's not that bad. 11th place. I don't know how many drivers there are. It might only be 14. But still, at least it's not last place. Even if I did ruin the shit out of my tyres a bit. I just don't know how I didn't get damaged. You know, it looks like the camber on... Oh, maybe it's right. Alright. Come on, guys. What's going on? Oh. Ah. Running on traction control for all that time too, like, and like, cause yeah, I kind of realized ages ago that maybe 5 was better, and then crashed, didn't I? Why are they going so slow? What are you playing at? So I reckon I'll just wait for the mandatory pit stop to, but maybe not. I need to get in front of these dudes, they're holding me up. I'm never going to catch the rest of the fucking pack. This Lamborghini, I thought this Lamborghini's a rocket, yeah, he wants to go. It's got like the smallest motor too. Oh. Sorry, guy. At least in terms of displacement. See, like, what the fuck is up with that, man? Ugh. Yeah, no shit. Go on, then. No, you can fuck off. You know. Fucking hell. Like, yeah, even when you defend, so like you play the tactic of like, I'll stay in the middle, you know? I'll run you off the road. You fucking prick. Oh, you fucking cunt. Get off me. Oh. Man, they really fight for it though, you know, it's like ignorantly, but they do fight for it at least. You may want to watch. I don't know if you're on a PC, you might want to watch it with an ad blocker. Because I haven't changed, like I haven't affected any default settings in regards to whether or not, like, I don't even know if you can. But like, I don't want ad revenue. I'd rather not have ads. If you're on a phone, you shit out of luck with it. Oh shit. Yeah, that's awesome. Like if you go up over the curb and your wheel comes up off the ground for a little while, your force feedback goes really light, obviously, to reflect that. You know, one wheel, I guess, hasn't got enough weight on it and the other's off the ground. Whoa. Somehow. How far off? 28. So I think I spun out twice, didn't I? Look at my front tyres, man. Really put them through hell. I wonder if I can get my brake bias back a little bit more. Yes. Yeah, he's on cold tyres, so he ain't going fast around the corners right now, but come on, buddy. Oh, sorry. My bad. Sorry. So sorry, Mr. Ones to Zeros. Yeah, that camera still hasn't come back. Shit. That was better. Too much curb there. I can hear cars on the other side of this. Bit of time lost around that. down to 19, so still haven't got a mandatory pit yet. Fuel, fuck, 14, fuck. I've got enough for one more lap. I think. Shit, have I? Fuck, maybe I. It's too late. You guys were quick. I don't know if I had enough, you know what I mean? Fuck. I don't have my lovely dash there to warn me. Okay, good. I was going to say I need all 4 changed. 54 litres is enough to get the rest of the job done. I'm still in 8th position. Nice. Only 37 seconds behind. I don't even know if they pitted. I can probably still win this if I really don't fuck up here on these cold tyres. Try and stay off the curbs a bit while they warm up. As per you fucking unpredictable bastard. I reckon it's because, I reckon the reason it did that is because my back brakes are still cold, front brakes weren't, has no ruddering, trail braking. I'm down to 40, I'm back up to 40 seconds now. I didn't really need a... Alright, things are starting to warm up again. A bit. What's this lap? No way. Fastest lap? How can... going in the pits must... Because that last lap was definitely better. Going in the pits added time to it, didn't it? I'm hot. It's hot work, man. Driving these hypercars. And this thing is like using 15 Newton meters. Not sure if it should. Like, I don't really know what these are meant to feel like inside. Like, majority of it's probably like 12, 8 to 12. Or like, well, technically 1 to 12. down to 32, 40. That's like 8 seconds pretty quick too. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, and I lost my wing. That's it. There's the chances that I might still win this. And they're gone. Oh my gosh. Vam Pro Haptics going crazy. I sound louder. Fucking hell. It's like the most traction control ever kicking in. Oh, sorry guys. I'm terrible. I ruin your race. I'm not far from the pits. I may as well lose with finish it out. I'll probably come last, but who cares? See, they're all pitting now. I would have had a really good race. Let me have reverse, bro. I don't know what I hit then. Maybe it'll even things out a bit. I can't believe how undrivable it is without a wing. Like, it must actually get a lot of downforce from that wing. I can't believe I have to pit again, dude. They're going to give me fuel too, and I don't know how to change that. They're going to give me more fuel and fresh tyres again, and it's going to take time to do that. I'm sorry, mate, but I'm a taxi at the moment. Yeah, I know. Sorry, guys. My bad. What's that? Oh, no, it's nothing, man. I didn't have the wing before. What are we on? Okay, last lap. Alright, well. It's possible I might not come last. That's about the best I can hope for. Wait. Oh, yeah, I was going to say, what? 8 minutes? 8... Ah. So yeah, if I can get these tyres warmed up. Okay, gotta not hit things. It won't turn right when it's cold. Probably because of the camber difference or something. No, I've actually set it up to want to take right turns. I'm confused. How is he more? He's 214 behind, and I'm 209 behind, but I'm behind him. Oh, is that a penalty? Like, would that be a penalty? Is that how they work? It'd be a glitch. Fit Girl needs to update this game. Come on, Fit Girl Studios. Hey, I had to pit twice, and I'm still beating you. And I'm cocky enough to fuck it up. So I better watch my mouth. Good if there was another 6 laps. Then you'd have enough time to kind of deal with it, or like something like that. Or even another 3, you know? But, like, 6 laps at Nürburgring already is, I don't know. It's about an hour, I think. Well, not quite, no. Yeah, it would be, wouldn't it? Well, not quite, but close. So after this race, I'm gonna go to the toilet and grab a drink. I've got a drink. Grab a cigarette. Grab a cigarette. If I can take him too, that'd be great. Straight racing for pride now. You know. Whoa, whoa. He's really slow around that corner. Now he's suddenly really quick. These are really finicky, I find, these hypercars, but I love driving them at the same time. What a dickhead. Now that all that matters is I somehow don't come last. And I will, you watch. Oh yeah. The repeat of the exact same thing. Alright guys, what did we learn? Not to be cocky. Ah, shit. I just punched my monitor. The bottom of it. I'm so hot. I need a break. Ah, race is over. Return to pits. Yeah, some of them are finished now. Some of them are still going. Oh, I need a break, guys. Guy? Need a break, guy. That be right back, guys, feeding doggo will do. Like, that'll do. I'm still doing that. Ugh, I don't even need to type anything. I'm gonna take this jacket off though.
It's hot work in Australia. Whoa. Whoa. I've never felt my Simagic Alpha get this warm, dude. Wow. Like, you can leave your hands on it, but it's fucking hot. So how hot would that be? It's definitely hotter than me. Like, what's hot enough to burn you? It's like 50 something or something like that. So it's like probably 40 something degrees. Like that. It has to be more than that. It feels like a GPU heatsink or a GPU backplate. Legit. These things can heat up, man. So I've never had it get that hot that I'm aware of. But I don't think it's a problem. These things can get really hot. And I never noticed any force feedback drop off at all. I didn't notice nothing. So have a look at this. Yeah, the status is all good. Let's say 35 volts. Are they 35? Are they? I thought they were 45. But yeah, I guess I could turn that down. That down. There it is. I thought it was that one that gives heat. I know this one can cause heat. I don't really think it would hurt it to lower it. It wouldn't really take away any much detail at all. And I bet you it barely would even have any effect of cooling it either. That's just my personal opinion. Yeah, I'm going to limit this one to 15. Yeah, so naturally either of these would reduce heat, but apparently you can get it down a bit if you. But I don't want to because, like, I've finally tuned these settings. Believe it, even though it was actually like that and like that. I don't think I need that high, and I don't think I need that low. So I'm gonna keep that at 20. Oh, fuck, I don't even remember where I had it. I'll go to 53. I'll drop it 10 instead of the whole 13. I'm gonna go and have a break, go to the toilet. Whoever this person is that's hanging around, thank you, and feel free to go do whatever you want to do, man. No obligations or anything. If you're here when I get back, then sweet. Yeah, all good. Ugh. Oh wait, hold on. Hold on a moment. Let me see. Wait, it's just not in the app at all. I'm just curious if it even is. It's actually in a pretty good position, so it's done a good job that way. But for some reason, it's. Well, you'll be able to see all this next, because my head kind of sits, I don't know, like there, kind of thing, like about there, so it'll take up a little bit of it. My head. My head! I'm gonna put this down. There we go, have smoke, go to the toilet. Let the dog go to the toilet, and I'll be back. Oh, my leg. Couch. Back of the hole. be honest, I don't know how much more I can sit at this shitty cheap seat for. I can get a sore hip sometimes from being in this position. We'll see what happens. Now, you can see all that at least. Oh, you might not have heard. Can you hear me? I guess you can. Probably sounds like a bit of background noise though. Got a little trick to having this here so that I can use it as a mic. Oops. That didn't work. No, that didn't work. When it's right in front of your face. Anyway. Okay. I don't need that. I cannot wait for the AC Evo update. I'd like to know when that's coming. Kind of really keen to try out their version of Nordschleifer because I think the AC version of it's really good. Probably still do another race, but I don't think I'm going to do hypercars. I'm going to do something different. I can't be too loud though either. Like I can't use the sequential because it's just too loud, even though I'm using haptics. This is like more of a bang, bang kind of sound. You know what I want to do? I want to do an oval race. These are really like fun to use. They're really nuts off the start though, if I remember correctly, like to get them started. Or was it these that were? Yeah, these. Oh man. Absolutely crazy to get started with. I wouldn't mind using that and just going through the H pattern. Because it is well, if I'm doing oval, what if I can get away with making? No, I better not. I'll use these. 5.7s, 275, 275, 235, 245. Yeah, let's just do these. They're basically ZB Commodores.
which honestly don't ever think were a bad looking car. They just weren't anywhere near as good as. Oops. They just weren't as good as the Australian made VF, because you couldn't get it like this. You couldn't get a rear wheel drive V8. So, such a good track. I've never done that one. I've never done Indianapolis or this one. Like, that looks sick. I was just going to do Daytona. I might do something different. That looks different today. It really isn't just driving around in circles, is it? Alright, let's go with that. Man, my eyes get so sore in front of this screen. Especially in the menus, because it flickers. Because of VSync. It doesn't, not VSync. FreeSync. It's fine once this kicks in. Then, you know, you've got your variable refresh rate and it's smooth as. You don't even notice the frame rate's kind of going up and down a bit when once that kicks in, but I just want to check something. Look, it's already given me a unsymmetrical setup because I'm on an oval, so I'm just going to leave that. That's interesting. I have to pit. I didn't even look. 6 laps with a pit. It's going to be stupid. I wish I could change the amount of laps here. I don't think you can. It's alright. I'll just quickly change that. What's a good amount for an oval track? That's not it. Where is it here? I'll do 20. 10 and 10. Yeah. I don't know how long that'll take. 4 kilometers. You're doing a long, like a high speed the whole time. So it's probably like a minute and something. Like, I've got no idea. So at least I don't have to change anything. I just need to do the pit strategy. I need to change the fuel though. What the hell's going on with the crowd? Getting some dodgy behaviours. Just leave it at that, eh? Man, it really wants to pull at the moment with cold tyres and such an uneven tyre, like pressure and camber setup. So this is actually meant to be driven with a slightly larger. Oh no, get off me, get off me, get off me. Unbelievable. Why not just get off me? Then we both don't die. Alright, start that again. I can't even remember what I was saying then. Man, I'm getting a lot of glitchy behaviours. Like inputs that are just happening on their own or not happening. I don't have EMI that I'm aware of because I grounded this rig. Haven't had any issues since. Yeah, so I also got the Simsonn load cell pedals. I used to have the Fanatic CSL pedals with my CSL DD, and then I got a Club Sport adapter so that I could just keep using them for a while when I got the Simagic Alpha. Oops. And yeah, so I got these Simsonn pedals, and I'd always had EMI issues. Like every now and then, but once I got these pedals, it really started to become more of an issue, and I had no choice but to ground everything. But that kind of fixed everything. Now today, I just cleaned up a bit of dust around the front of the rig where the ground wire is. So I'm wondering if I've slightly fucked the contact. But to be honest, I think it's just the fact that this is a full motor. Feels like these tyres are never going to get used to like warmed up. Like this front left is never going to get warmed up. I really wish AMS2 had NASCARs though. I reckon it'd be awesome. But these are a good mat, like similar. But yeah, anyway, as I was saying before, these are meant to use a bigger wheel and a sequential shifter that you need to. And he just keeps driving through here. Like vindictive, hey? no damage. Or McDonville. Are they going to get him off the track? They've given us a green light and there's a car upside down on the track. I don't know how he got there. So, trying to tell this story has been really bad luck 2 times in a row. But as I was saying, third time a charm and all, like, let's not crash trying to say it for the 3rd time. This car is supposed to use a sequential shifter, stick shift, and it uses like a dog box, so you don't need to touch the clutch unless you are downshifting, and then in which case you need to like rev match, you know, blip the throttle and rev match, or you're meant to. Because this is just an oval track, I got no problem using a butterfly wheel and just using that as my sequential, because it's late to make too much noise to use the sequential, and yeah, I don't really need to like worry about blipping the throttle. I can just drive this thing like I'm driving a GT3. Just no ABS and traction control, and worse, much worse the tyres too, or much smaller tyres anyway. These things are notoriously hard to drive, but this is where you want to have an easier run with them. This is where like need that slipstream. They don't have a lot of downforce. Especially at the front. So the trick to them is to brake early, really. And then, yeah, when you upshift, they have like a dog box, so you don't need to touch the clutch or anything to upshift. So in that regard, it is just like driving a, you know, modern GT3. But I've got a 310mm wheel. That's perfect size, and a 2 sequentials I can use, one of either, and I do have the clutch too. So I've got everything set up to be able to drive V8 supercars, because I really do like them. But I really set it up to drive the ones that you can get on AC, like with mods. And it wasn't until I grabbed this that I realised that these have V8 supercars as well. They call them Super V8s, and they're only ZBs, but they're not Holdens. I think they're Box. These are whatever the European manufacturer of them is, before they were badged up as Holdens and sent to Australia. Because I was trying to match the slide a bit there. Yeah, once they were badged up, they were sent to Australia as Holden Commodores. But they're not Holden Commodores. But in this like sense, for V8 racing, they're the same. Like, they do have the 5-litre V8, the rear-wheel drive, the shitty tyres, no traction control, no ABS, and about, what's it, 630 horsepower or something like that? 300 kilometers an hour top speed roughly. So it's the same. And so, you know, on here you can get that experience. And I'd imagine, like, 'cause there are mods for AMS too, there's probably somebody out there who's made like the VF Commodore and the Falcon and all of that, or maybe even like the other ones like the Volvo and the Mercedes and that, which nobody likes because The only two cars anybody wants to drive in V8 supercars are generally the Holden and the Ford, because they're the Aussie cars, and it's an Aussie sport. Aussie, you know, at least it was before our government just kind of let our car industry die, and General Motors decided to, I suppose. They didn't want to. I'll keep getting that curb, and it's just. Because I'm not used to driving. Even though I've got it all set up with my shifter on the right, on the left. That's it, yeah. Yeah, even though I got it set up with my shifter on the left, I'm not used to driving cars with all this body on the left. So, like, a lot of the cars I'll drive tend to be American style, like left-hand drives. But I set it all up because I'm Australian and I drive right-hand drives in real life and like driving right-hand drives. And when I made this rig, because like my IRL car is one of these, basically got the model before it, the VF, the LS3, and it's a manual. And I got myself into a bit of trouble and lost my license driving too fast. So I lost my license and built myself a rig so that I can drive until I get my license back. And then when I had the rig, I realised that this is how I should be doing all my recreational driving. I shouldn't be doing any fucking recreational driving in my actual car. Like, just because there's a risk, you know, that something could go wrong. So my car's like really expensive to run as well. About 20 litres to the 100, or if I drive it hard. It goes very hard though. Like even stock they do. But this thing's a rocket. I'd say it's got about 350 or 330 kilowatts or something like that. Because stock it's got 304, and it's got these new injectors. And yeah, it goes really hard, but it uses more fuel. So driving less has actually been, you know, good. And yeah, because I get in trouble if I try and have fun in that car anyway. It was, you know, I may as well get into the sim, and because my car's a V8 Australian car, the shifter goes on the side on the sim, on the left. And then I didn't know until like I really had been driving sim for a while that it would be quite rare that I drove right-hand drive cars. But now that I'm kind of reminding myself, that's right, I've got all this car over here, I can't get as close to that curb, I'll probably be alright. But yeah. Whoa, wait, hey, stay off me, man, what the hell? What the hell, man? Oof. I'm just not there, you know. Like, just drive into that spot, bro. You'll be right. Like, let's occupy the same space, man. Fucking dumb cunt. What's the blue flag for anyway? Like, do they really expect me to just slow down and let these guys go past? Maybe I will have to though. Otherwise I might get a penalty. I'm that far behind though that basically every car that I go near I'm getting blue flags for. Like, don't try and catch up, you're not allowed. Like, is that really how it works in racing? Oh my god. This thing just won't grip down at the moment. I feel like my damage is not getting shown. Seems fine. It's just not gripping anymore at the front. Oh yeah, it is. Yeah. But yeah, man, like, I've only pitted once and everybody has to pit. But like, how the hell am I haven't been paying much attention, you know, to be honest, even though I'm the one right, like, doing this, but... Did I have two? Because I know, I thought I restarted, like... Did I get crashed and then... Because I know I had to repair damage at least once. I just don't get it. I don't get how I got that far behind. How did the entire pack get behind? Like, because even second place is 53 seconds behind the leader. What the hell is the leader driving? Oh no. Jamie Whincup, he's heaps fast. But like, fuck me. What about that save just there? Just turn more. That's a good video, that. Just turn more. Thank you, sir. If you see this, you know who you are. It's either the name of his video or it was in the thumbnail. Just turn more. And yeah, I mean, every time I was losing the car, I was trying to counter steer and catch it. And I'd say 8 times out of 10, I'm still doing that. I wouldn't even, man. I'd say, like, I'm really surprised actually how many times now I've been saving the car by steering more. So trying to match the reduction in grip between the front and the rear rather than trying to compensate for the reduction of grip in the rear by a non-reduction of grip in the front, if that makes sense, because that's kind of what counter steering is. It's like you've still got grip in the front, none in the back, and you're trying to use the grip in the front to fight for some grip in the back again. But when you just oversteer, what you instead do is induce slide where, you know, an even nice lateral slide rather than a spin out, because, you know, you're matching the reduction in grip at the front tires by oversteering. And I'm probably doing a bad job of explaining it, but once you put it into practice, it works really well. And yeah, I'd say this track is really good for practicing it because they're big, long, high-speed corners. So like now I just overtook that dude and got a blue flag straight away. Like, so it just sort of seems like if you're behind in a race, you can't catch up. Because as soon as you get near a car, you're getting blue flagged. Like, how the hell can you overtake someone if you're being told to get behind them all the time? So, you know, like that old F1 movie, like that old 50s movie or whatever, and that guy, like, he can't take off at the start of the race, and then he kind of spends the rest of the race catching up at Le Mans. No, not Le Mans, Monza. And they have the banking at Monza back then. So it's like old Monza, you know, like, and oh, it's such a good movie, man, to be honest. But yeah, this dude, like, he fucks it at the start. Spends the rest of the race like trying to catch up. Cool down lap. That's why they're going so slow. Yeah, and like, he's allowed to do that. There's not, as far as I know, he was not getting blue flags every time he got near a car. I just don't know. I don't know how it works, man. I need to read up on the rules. Oh wow, it feels so weird accelerating with the left foot. Man, that feels weird. It's just so light. Oh, come on, you can do it. Yeah, suddenly it stops like a fucking F1 car with a parachute on its ass. Oh, fuck. These haptics are still going. You're sitting in a V8, you're sitting in a V8. Exit the main menu. Shut up. Vam Pro. So they're really strong. So anyway, yeah, Simsonn pedals, man, they're good. Yeah, I like them. They're pretty good. So I've had them for 6 months, not even, and I reckon they're good. The Vam Pros are really good. I've got them mounted now horizontally so that they push into the pedal like they should. That's working really good. Yeah, the DD, the direct drive servo, is brilliant. Direct drive, 15 Newton meters, really good. I don't think you can ask for much more in terms of haptics, you know, like, because I've got the Vam Pros on the pedals, and then I've got these 220 watt, 25 watt exciters on either side of the pedal plate as well, which kind of just give me front wheel haptics and ABS as well. They also pulsate, act like front disc brakes, but to be honest, that's nearly imperceptible when you compare it to what the Vam Pro is doing straight to the pedal itself. But anyway, I've then got these two 30 watt pucks that are also mounted on the front of the rig on either side, and so all of that together kind of does the front of the rig. with this, with the steering wheel, because this is your steering column, obviously. So that kind of connects all that together. And then on the rear, I got two Dayton BST2, what are they? 50 watt RMS, 35 watt 4-ohm bass shakers. You know, rather than pucks and exciters, now we're going like big motherfucker things, and they're really powerful. They got heaps of headroom too, so I don't need to use them to their full power. And then on the seat, I've got two homemade bass shakers, like old subwoofers that me and my son made into bass shaker speakers, but like they don't make sound anymore; they just vibrate. And I've mounted one to the front of the seat on the 2.1 that the two Daytons are on, so it's kind of like you get rear tire spins with the front of the seat, or rear left tire spins with the front of the seat. So you kind of get like a triangle of effects that way. It really does actually help you to define like what side's spinning. And then I've got the second one on the back mounted to the back of the middle of the seat, and that's actually running in series with two subwoofers off the subwoofer audio on the audio channel. So all the engine sounds like, when you're like driving a loud V8, and you kind of notice that the engine effects in SimHub aren't quite doing a good job of like keeping up with the variation in like engines. That you can clearly hear this big loud fucking lumpy V8. You would feel that sitting in it, and you're not really unless you up the engine effects in SimHub. But then you start washing out all the other effects. And then other cars, you jump in and you'd think, nah, that engine vibration's way too high. So then you'd have to bring it down again. And that's weird. I'll bring them back later. I don't know who's calling me at this fucking time. So you get those engine effects sort of coming in too high, and then using the subwoofer channel gives you a really good sort of mix of effects. Oh, this has got to be it. This is going to be an emergency or some bullshit, man. I can't get it out. Sorry. Oh, shit. What? My dad's ringing. Alright. Let's see what's going on with old feller. I hope everything's alright. Yeah? Yeah? What's going on? Wow, okay, cool. Alright. It is. I'm happy for you. Yeah. Yeah. Alright, mate. All good. See ya. Love you. Bye. Good on you, and I'm happy for you, though. Alright. So, yeah. I'm going to call it. I think I'm going to call it a night. I've been on for hours. And, what the hell's going on with this fucking flash? What is that on? Okay, I'm just going to close it. Is that what app? It's used by another app. That
Okay. Alright. Well, I don't know if this is working with OBS. Yeah, I think it will. Let me just see what happens. Yeah, here we go. Okay, so yeah, you can see with these 3D printed brackets, you can mount these Vam Pros the way that they should be mounted. And yeah, they're really effective like that. And then those 25 watt exciters, that's right in the middle of the screen now, they were actually mounted where the Vam Pros used to be on my old pedals. But I didn't want to just not use them, so that's why they've been mounted there, because these little, you can't really see that one. You can't really see it. But these little, you can just see that one there. Those pucks on the side, well, like then they weren't as strong as these Daytons. Where are they? Back there. They weren't as strong, obviously. These were really strong, and the pucks weren't keeping up. But when I put the exciters and the Vam Pros on, it was like it all started keeping up with one another, if you know what I mean. So it's really well balanced now. So, and then yeah, these are the little anodized encoder knobs that I put on today, and I think they're beautiful. And they're the same red as what comes on the Neo with the QR and the thumb encoders. If they had blue, I might have got one red and one blue. Because what I was thinking of doing was going like red, blue, red, 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 blue. And then I was like, they only had reds there, and I was like, actually, I don't really mind. I think I'll just get the two reds. Because otherwise I was looking at probably maybe having too much blue anyway. But then, yeah, I was thinking of changing these, like blue, red, and then probably green and gold. But then I was kind of like, I don't know if I want to do that. I kind of like these black. And when I realised I don't mind these black, that's when I was like, I don't even think I'll upgrade them. Even though these are plastic, they are actually pretty nicely made. Like, they're really well made. Like, as far as plastic parts go. And they'll be as light as a feather. And when you're looking at 4 encoders, you are actually starting to look at adding some weight to the wheel. Like, this is imperceptible. This is only a couple of grams. But so they're just little things. But there's still things to take into consideration. If you're happy with these 4 here, I would actually leave them. Simply just to keep the wheel lighter. It's meant to be 1100 gram wheel. Now it's probably 1110, or something, or 1105. You know what I mean? So it's all going to slowly add up. It doesn't matter though, honestly. I think this wheel's heavier, and it's like they like a heavy wheel, these wheelbases. Like the Simagic Alpha, it really likes a heavy wheel. It yeah, something to do with dampening out some of that. I don't know what it is, but yeah, I just think because I've got a really light wheel too. It's just my little drifty over there. There's no QR on it at the moment because it died. So I found out that QRs die. There's a little spring inside them that can break if you get a really cheap one. So I'm getting a better one. I'm going to get the same one as these. I actually really recommend these. So this is the ANNX quick release. So ANNX, and the quality is really good. Like, it's the same as the Simagic quality, like in terms of quality. And the pin layout is the same, so all you got to do is make sure you wire them up right. Those first two in the middle, are ground. The outside one is data, and those two between the first two and the outside one. So what would you call them? The third and fourth, or
second and third, depending on which way you go. But those two right there, that's positive. So you got negative, positive, and then one little pin on the outside for data that you won't connect to. So that enables me to power this off of the wheelbase instead of having to plug it into the aviator connector. And it's got really good Bluetooth. Like, it's as good as the GT Neo or a PlayStation controller or something like that. So now it's on. Like, it's got an internal battery, but if I plug it in, it'll start charging, or it may start charging depending on if it needs to, and then you'll see this breathing, like, slowly going, like, a bit, like, brighter than what it is now, and then down to dim, and then, you know, just breathing like that. And these lights can be turned right up to be quite bright too. But I tend to either run them at their lowest or second lowest, to be honest, because it's bright enough and it saves power. But yeah, this is a really good hub. It was very cheap. You know, like, the cost of this all up with a leather 310 wheel, less than half of you know, their own GT1 wheels, which are 320 mil, and they have a lot of flex in the rim, whereas this is rock solid. Thick steel, it's rock solid. There's no flex in the steering wheel whatsoever, and it can easily handle the 15 Newton meters right through from the steering wheel to the back of the quick release, like right through the hub. It's made the hub itself's made out of carbon fiber, and the interior body is 3D printed, but it's 3D printed from the back up or vice versa. So the layers, because you're compressing, see, like, 3D printed parts actually handle compression quite well as long as you're stacking on top of the layers. And when I opened it up and looked at the wiring inside, it was really thick, like really thick walled, you know, what would you call it? Not conduits or whatever, but like the part where the bolt passes through and then holds it all out and spaces it out so that when you put it all together, it doesn't just, you know. Anyway, so basically what I'm saying is I saw the interior of it, and it's got a good internal, like, PCB, and it's all just soldered, you know, chunky kind of Chinese factory style, but hey, it works, man. And it's really good quality 3D printing. Like, that middle part there, like, is really good quality. But yeah, you got 3mm carbon fiber, 3mm carbon fiber, both sides. All of this is 3mm carbon fiber. So you don't need those extra magnets, but I've just put them on. But you can see there's a little bit of flex if you push hard, but it's nothing you'll notice. So 5mm carbon fiber would avoid that altogether, but it's really not a big deal at all. I made up my own little stickers. Like, I made up my own little brake bias, like, up and down for this, using an X-Acto knife and a bunch of other little stickers. So I made my own little brake bias sticker for this too. But yeah, I was tired of not knowing what everything does, and looking at these stupid labels that were, like, unusable to me. So as you can see, I don't care about those bottom ones. I don't really see them anyway. And the light one actually matches. But yeah, as you can see, I blacked out the labels that I won't be using. I put map there because that's actually what I do use them for, is either map, engine map, or turbo, depending on the car or the game. And yeah, Simagic. So that's the PXN button box, and it's really good. Really, like, I mean, when I say it's really good, it's a button box and it works. This is really good. I recommend this if you're in the market for a cheap shifter. This is a really good shifter. Like, it's much better than the the AliExpress one, like, or the Odor one, or whatever I had before, which was pretty good. I actually didn't mind it. I thought that was vastly superior than the Logitech one. And then this is another step up again, and I'll show you why. So basically, when you go into gear, there's all that. So tension starts right here. Tension starts right here, like immediately, right? But as you go through, it's like that tension's still there, still there, still there, still there, still there, and then you're in. So it's this nice, like, very much like my real car. Like I told you, I drive a VF manual. I want to show you the gimbal if I can. How clever is that? That's where you tighten it up and adjust the tension. And you can actually see that little groove there. That groove's cut into the rod all the way through. This more than one, I mean, sorry. And then if you want to go sequential, there's a little thing down the front here. I'll try and show you. I don't know if I'm looking at it, but that little thing there, if you tighten that, it'll stop it from being able to go from side to side. Like, it puts pressure on the inside of the gimbal, as you can see around there, and it kind of like stops this part. If I can get in there and show you, it stops that part from moving independently of the other part there. So it just locks them together. So that gives you your that stops it from being able to go from left to right, like, and then you lock this in, and that pin, this is like a brake that holds onto the bolt that gives you your tactile feel for your H pattern. So what it then takes over with these springs. And again, you've got this like gradual tension all the way. And it's pretty quiet, you know, compared to this. And it's got nice tension, like, all the way through. So, but I don't actually use it because I just don't like the position of it for sequential. Like, I love where it is for H pattern, and then when I sequential, I want to be more like right in front of me. So that's why I've got it set up like that. And then when I do want to use this, that's obviously way in the way. Now, it wasn't when I just had it there, but I didn't really like reaching all that way, so I would chuck this on. So it just brought it a bit closer if I don't want to use it, or if I want to use H pattern and this is in the way. It doesn't take, you know, very much to just move it. I can just slot it in this hole here, and then that ain't going anywhere, and then, yeah, I've got no obstructions there to go into gear. So I increased the tension on this cheap handbrake using a lawnmower spring. Trampoline spring would probably work too. I increased the upshift tension and decreased the downshift tension using rubber bands on this. I want more tension going into gear, and I just like less going down. So that's why those bands are there. But on this, I use a spring, and it gives it a lot. Like, it's real. It takes a lot to pull that now. Like, I mean, a lot. So that's a good arm work out there. And it's just so much better than it was stock. I've still got the stock spring in there though. So it's actually using two springs, but yeah, that one's way stronger. Oops, a bit of noise there, but usually it's quiet. I reckon, like, that's about it, eh? Like, I'm going to call it a night. But yeah, this is my cheap rig. Like, this rig was cheap as. It's Artiss rig from eBay. 350 Australian dollars when I bought it. You can probably get it cheaper now. And it was just really just about getting me off of the desk and not spending $700 to get a cheap aluminium rig. It's like, man, half the price. I'll give it a go. And yeah, I've had to drill holes and add metal. Like, actually, I'll show you. It's probably too late now. I've already shut OBS. No, it's not, is it? Yeah, like all this metal here has been added by me. So all that actually does is stops the wheelbase from going, but like bobbing up and down, and it also stops it from wanting to go like that, if that makes sense. So there's no torquing in it from the wheelbase, and there's no vertical bobbing. You know, like it. Even if I push up on that, you know, it doesn't matter. So, or pull down on it, whatever. And that's because they're bolted in through the actual rig. There's actually holes in the rig down there that are there for the shifter arm. So I drilled holes through these things and sprayed them black. Bought some corner brackets, sprayed this bar black. Drilled holes in the bottom that line up with the wheelbase mounts. So this actually pins, the wheelbase pins this bar. These bolts pin the wheelbase and the wheel deck to this bar. So there's no adjustability. You know, it's locked in. And on top of these poles, there's a tech screw going through the thread in each of them. That one's a bit higher because it's also holding in an aluminium bracket, but the other two on this side, they're just going straight in, just like this one is, and they just go straight in through the bottom and come down to about there and hold it in place, and then bang through there as well. So that really strengthens up the corner. It's held both by this bracket and by those screws. And then yeah. And then once you've done that, you put so much tension on it all that it's like shoving these poles into the ground. Like they're shoved into the ground as hard as they can go. Like you take all the tension off and add it all. And then I literally screwed the whole rig to the ground. And that pulled even more tension on those poles and stopped the rig from being able to like wobble from side to side. So that's why it's so solid. Like it's really solid, you know. It's probably more solid than some aluminium profile rigs because of the way I've done it, or at least as solid, because you can't really get more solid than solid. So, and then yeah, you can see how I set it up so that I'd be able to swivel around to my desk or the sim rig. So, and that's the switch that I was talking about before. So I can turn it off at the rig. Yeah, like I made all this myself. Attached the keyboard to this metal, cut out a hole so I can change the battery when I need. Made these screws into stands because the metal angles down. I needed it to kind of angle back up. Mounted that speaker there, you know. Made all that mouse stand and all of this, like just little things, man. Like, you know, you buy a phone holder from Kmart, metal plate from Bunnings, a really good monitor stand, and it all just adds up. And then yeah, you know, over time you make yourself something cool. Like this stick here, that's just wood. That's just a wooden stick painted black. That's actually off of an old pedestal fan, chopped to size and painted black, and then screwed in place on both sides, and then screwed to the floor so that none of this wobbles. So when you change gear, it's all rock solid. I just wanted everything rock solid. So anyway, I'll leave it at that, guys. I'm going to call it. Very happy with the Simagic Alpha though. So, and yeah, like I said, sort of halfway through the stream, I kind of recommend something along those lines. You know, DFP 15 would be good. Simagic Alpha, if you can get it right now, on special. Simagic Alpha Evo or Evo Pro, Conspit base, Club Sport DD, Moser R12. Hell, even the RS50 is probably starting to get in that weaker range, but yeah. If you had 8 Newton meters of holding torque, I reckon you'd probably be happy. I had a CSL DD and that had 8 Newton meters of peak torque, but it only had 6 Newton meters of holding torque. If you had 8 Newton meters of holding torque and 10 Newton meters of peak torque, I reckon that would be enough for most people. And then 12 Newton meters of holding torque, it really is enough. Yeah. Anyway, love yous and leave yous, eh? I think I just have to stop there.